Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm reading today for Cancerian energy. There could be something about hand cream or dry hands because I was kind of noticing it myself about my own videos that my hands were looking a little bit dry, and then I just went to start your video there and I had butter on the back of my hand. I just ate potato cakes and I had butter on my hands. So yeah, something about hand oils, things like that could be relevant to you somehow. Okay, jumping in with your reading. This is for Cancerian energy. If you resonate with Cancerian energy, it's not for any specific placements. It's just if you feel Cancerian, if you feel affected by Cancerian energy right now, it might be your reading. It also might not be your reading, in which case just kind of maybe check out some other placements, or just maybe somebody else needed the messages a bit more this month. What I would say is that I'm reading for, I feel a little bit hyper. I don't know if that's something to do with your energy. I just feel a little bit like, wee. um, so um, the readings are for May. I'm trying to like ground myself. The readings are for May. And what I find with my own readings, if I try and read in advance, it can make absolutely no sense when I first hear the message or, when I actually do the reading. And I can come back to my own readings later in the month and it will be spot on, like freaky like accurate. I can mention something like coffee and I'll just be like making a cup of coffee, and then it'll mention something really random and I think, how could that possibly affect me, like swimming, and my kid will come into the room and be like, I want to go swimming, like at the same time. So do come back to the reading, maybe just give it another look kind of later in May and just see if anything's starting to play out for you. Okay, so I had a little bit of a vision and it was a very strong one, and it was a picture of a door. It was actually a white door. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but what felt really important was that it had a big 3 on it. So there's something about door number 3, and it makes me think of the line from like game shows and things where it's like, what's behind door number 3? So I don't know if you've got like 3 different options coming up for you in May. It's like, and maybe you don't know like what's on offer until you open the door, if that makes any sense. It's like you don't really know. It's kind of like you're choosing blind or something like that, or you maybe it's something like opening presents, right? It's like, which one do you want to open first? And then it's like you get to the third present and it's like, that's the good one, something like that. But maybe you're also moving house. Maybe your new house is going to be house number 3, apartment number 3. Just watch out. Number 3 could just be a very relevant number for you this month. I was also getting sit straight. It's like my guys were telling me to sit up straight. So I don't know if somebody's like a teacher, or there's something about correcting your posture, maybe being very careful with your posture at this time. For example, I woke up with like a really sore lower back because I keep sitting twisted in my seat. So just watch out for kind of like, spine. Just take care of your spine this month, and make sure to just be aware of your posture. Maybe do a bit of yoga or posture correction exercises. Maybe I find like doing tarot and leaning forward and sometimes being on my computer, I can sometimes feel a little bit hunched. And so you can just Google and look on YouTube for kind of like posture correction videos, and they'll give you some tips and exercises that you can do. Heavy metal came up for you. I don't know if you listen to heavy metal. I don't know if somebody around you is listening to heavy metal. It's coming up as a Cancerian thing. I know a lot of Cancerians who really like kind of like rock music. So it does seem to be a generalized Cancerian preference. I don't know personally if that's relevant for you or not, but there could be something this month. You Let me just gather my thoughts a little bit. So you did get some warnings as I was kind of setting up the cards. You were getting warnings like there's a bad situation that you need to get out of. There's people working against you, those kinds of things. I feel like you could be dealing with people because you've got this thing like of if you lie down with dogs you get fleas. That sometimes comes through for Capricorn. Like you've made your bed. It's coming from the song Religion by Lana Del Rey, and it says, let sleeping dogs lie, you've made your bed, what will be will be. And it talks about the parties in the clubs, and kind of overdoing it. So you do get this message a lot coming through in your readings, Cancer, whether it's you specifically who's overdoing it and partying too much, or if this is somebody that you're connected with that you're kind of worried about, that you're trying to help. I am getting this energy again of maybe somebody who's got in kind of with a bad crowd. It's like your friends don't have your best interests at heart, that kind of thing. And again, I'm not telling you, if you know, right, if you're coming to this reading and you're like, No, my best friends are absolutely lovely. I know they've got the back. They've been there for me time and time again. You know, I am taking care of my health. And these messages are not for you. It could be somebody around you. It could just be a completely different message for a completely different person. Don't be like, my friends are conspiring against me. Oh no, you know, like that's not what I'm saying here. It's like, I think you'll kind of know. I think you'll kind of feel it if this is relevant to you. But yeah, I feel like more it's somebody who's I'm kind of getting cross-watch energy. So I feel like I'm picking up on somebody who's concerned about a Cancerian who, you know, maybe they go out with their friends a lot. The friend, you know, they drink too much. Maybe it's that energy of kind of like when you're not looking after your health properly and you are overdoing it, you know, your emotions then get really out of whack and your mood swings get out of whack. So I feel like somebody just really, um, they just kind of need to calm down a little bit. It's like I'm hearing get off the roller coaster, if that's relevant to anyone, get off the roller coaster. Um, so maybe somebody feels like their life is a bit of a roller coaster. Maybe they're going to a lot of clubs, a lot of parties, maybe heavy metal concerts. Like it's kind of like that heavy metal crowd is the way it feels like drink hard, play hard, party hard. Yeah, I don't know. But you're also getting a lot of idioms with that as well, which came through a lot for Aries. It was like somebody who, it's like they validate their opinion with idioms. And it's kind of like end of argument, let sleeping dogs lie. You know, it's like they'll throw in the idiom to kind of like be like this, you know, I'm the authority here because I know this quote. It's something like that. But you could also be, if you're dealing with an Aries, maybe go and check out their reading. um you're getting this kind of like bail out energy. It came out with the Fool card. It's kind of like jumping out of a situation, bailing out of a situation, because you can see that it's taking like it's going a bit too, it's like it's going a bit too far, or it's got a bit too dark, that kind of thing. You're also getting this thing of like, if this is you, Cancer, you're getting this kind of it's the way I want to live energy. It's like what will be, que sera, sera. It's very much like the poet living in the moment. You're going through this kind of like hippie earth mother energy that's very accepting of what is. So it feels like somebody's kind of let go of the reins a little bit, like they're not trying to control their life anymore. They're like, it's in God's hands, it's in the universe's hands. What will be will be. I'm just going to try and see the beauty in the moment. So it's like kind of like a living for the drama, living for the arts kind of thing. It's like, okay, bad things happen, I can make poetry out of it, which comes up a lot for you. It's coming back again. Maybe you're going to have to bail someone out, or somebody's going to have to bail you out of a situation. I did get this thing about Cancers not knowing what's good for them. And again, it doesn't have to necessarily be you. It could be somebody else that you're dealing with. But it's kind of dark Cancerian energy of, because Cancerians can be brilliant. You know, Cancerians, you know, you might be this kind of like beautiful, kind of like nurturing Earth Mother, Queen of Cups, really good with your emotions, letting things go, letting things flow, and like really kind of gorgeous with that, which is a really high vibrational version of Cancerian energy. But there is this warning sign about this character that's coming through, and again, it doesn't have to be you, of somebody who's kind of just kind of they're letting things happen to them a little bit. So it is coming through with a little bit of like self-destructive behaviors, codependency, and enabling and placating in the short term. So there could be somebody who's like, you know, if this is you, it's like, I know this is bad for me, but I need it right now. Like I need it in the short term. I know this isn't a long-term solution, but it's like you keep going for the short-term solution rather than fixing the underlying problems. Or that again, this is somebody around you. So Cancer, if you're dealing with somebody who's got some kind of issues like this, I want to say be careful that you're not, with the best of intentions, like reinforcing bad behavior. Because I want to say I'm getting this kind of like placating energy of like, I just want this person to be happy. I just want to, you know, I just want this person to feel happy and to be placated. So I am getting, it could be somebody's child, especially if you've got a Cancerian child. It's like they may have certain things that help them calm down, and you know, you just want to give it to them, even though, you know, it could be something like sugary foods, right? It's like they have a stress day at school, they want to binge on sugary foods. You want to get them the Ben and Jerry's ice cream and make them feel better, but it's like that's maybe that's going to lead to health issues in the long term because it's a quick fix, right? It's like, you know, you don't want to kind of like give them too much sugar that they get health problems, or you know, that kind of thing. So again, I'm not blaming anyone. It's really hard being a parent. I know this week I've had a tough time of it too. But yeah, it's kind of like this mollycoddling. So just be careful, because you don't want to create codependency, like mum will fix it, you know, like don't worry, I'll fix it for you. I'll solve all your problems for you. You don't have to worry. Here, have this ice cream. You want to make sure, if you're a parent, that you're teaching your children how to be, how to solve their own issues, right? You need to teach them those skills to be able to kind of get through life, because you know, you might not always be around to help them, so they're going to need to know what to do to, you know, what's in their best interests. Again, I'm getting this kind of self-destructive energy, so it's difficult. What else as well? Yeah, I am getting, I'm kind of picking up on Cancerian man who's been dealing with a woman who's kind of taking advantage. Again, flip it and reverse it if needs be. It could be people around you. It doesn't even have to be you necessarily. It could be, you know, friends are coming to you talking about these problems. But I'm getting a guy who's being taken advantage of as well, because I've got that Michael Bolton song, "When a man loves a woman, she can do no wrong," kind of thing. So I'm getting that this woman's really doing quite a lot of wrong. It's kind of like Cancerian gone wild kind of thing. If it's a Cancerian, it doesn't have to be a Cancerian, but I'm getting this kind of someone who's just let go of the reins, and they're just partying, and they're just it's like they're on this self-destruct cycle, but the guy is like really supportive and really kind of just loves them. So again, just watch out for codependency there, that you're not enabling bad behaviors. And also, like, watch out, especially Cancerian guys, that you're not being taken advantage of, because I was kind of getting this sugar daddy energy. It came through with Marilyn Monroe, who is a Cancerian, and of course, again, she had a lot of codependency issues. She had a lot of daddy issues, and she we know how her story ended, right? So really just self-care, looking after yourself, looking after your needs, not getting in with a bad crowd who encourage you to do things that you know are not good for you, that kind of thing. But the song that came through was "My Heart Belongs to Daddy," and again, Lana Del Rey's come through a few times, and she, you know, she has this kind of daddy issues persona that she has. So again, it could just be a persona, right? You do get actress energy sometimes, Cancer. But again, like, it's making me think of these TikToks and YouTube shorts that I keep seeing by this girl who's parodying being a sugar baby. And she keeps talking about a sugar daddy, but her sugar daddy's like a complete pushover, and she's clearly just using him. And she's out partying and things like that. So I don't know if that's going to be a situation that's coming up for you. But again, you're getting bad situation energy. So I don't know. You did get the Hades card came through, which came through with a warning of, you know, look after yourself. You know, if you keep indulging in bad behaviors, it's a downward spiral. But it came through with "Don't tell me what to do." So I don't know. You have "My Prerogative" by Britney. My notes say read the lyrics, so I'm just going to pull them up and go over that. But she says, "Don't tell me what to do, it's my prerogative," right? So a lot of these songs are really reinforcing what I was already picking up for you. My prerogative. It's like, it's almost like, if this is you, Cancer, it's this feeling of like, I don't want to be nannied, right? If I want to go out and drink, if I want to go out and make bad choices, that's my right to do so. You know, it's like, that's how I want to live my life. And it's nobody else's business, really, if I choose to press the self-destruct button. And again, obviously, Britney Spears is like Marilyn Monroe. You know, she has a bit of a sad story regarding kind of like people taking advantage of her. So again, there's a lot of these kind of themes coming up for you. People can take everything away from you, but they can never take away your truth. But the question is, can you handle mine? They say I'm crazy, I really don't care, that's my prerogative. They say I'm nasty, but I don't give a damn. Getting boys is how I live. Some ask me questions, why am I so real? But they don't understand me. They don't really know the deal about my sister trying hard to make it right. Not long ago, before I won this fight. So it says, everybody's talking all this stuff about me. Why don't they just let me live? I don't need permission. I make my own decisions, and that's my prerogative. So I think Britney's an interesting example of Marilyn as well, because she had such a sad story, you know, in her early life. And you know, people definitely attempted to take advantage of her in multiple ways, you know, and kind of exploit her fame, just like Britney. So um, it's like, hang on, let me just get my thoughts in order. With Britney, it's an interesting case because, you know, she clearly does have some mental health issues, which I think, you know, do seem quite apparent. But I think she would be better served by people providing really good, solid, you know, support and mental health services for her. And I think with the conservatorship with Britney, you know, this again, like sugar daddy, like my daddy will take care of it. I mean, like it's literally her daddy, right? Who had this conservatorship over her. It's like, um, you know, I think maybe that originally started with the best of intentions of, you know, we were, I'm worried about my daughter. I want to make decisions for her best interests. But, you know, clearly something went wrong with that. I think it does bring up a really interesting discussion about um, personal agency. And even if you are making bad choices, even if you do have mental health issues, shouldn't you be allowed to make those choices regarding your own life? But then on the flip side, are you capable of making informed choices if, you know, you're not in the right state of mind to do so? So there's this interesting, and it's almost like the answer is like, I need to be allowed to not be in the right state of mind. You know, this is my life and this is my story, and there's poetry to it. It's difficult. I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer here. I'm saying that it's a bad situation, right? That's what the cards were saying, a bad situation. So the cards that are on the table so far are the Seed and the Priestess. So somebody could be pregnant. The seed card can indicate pregnancy, and this knowing about it, like it's like almost like knowing, like a deep knowing, that somebody's pregnant. I'm kind of getting like born again as well. Like if somebody's passed over, you could have this feeling that this person's going to be reborn, which is an interesting message to come through. So take it or leave it. That might not be your prerogative, right? But the seed is potential. The seed is something real and tangible and solid, and with enough care and nurture, this can grow into something that's really viable and successful. So seeds and trees can indicate people. Sometimes in my readings, this is sometimes how they my guides communicate to me. So different types of trees can mean different types of people, and you don't know what that seed's going to be. So it can be talking about a child, right? A child perhaps that's not been born yet. You don't know who they're going to be. And again, the idea of like, you don't know what's behind door number 3. Maybe this is your third child. It's like you don't know what their personality is going to be. You don't know what problems they're going to run into in their lives. So I don't know. Maybe you've giving birth to a priestess. Maybe this person's going to have maybe Scorpio energy. Priestess is typically Scorpio, can be any water sign, or just anyone who carries that kind of like psychic ability energy, that kind of witchy energy that you're definitely giving off, Cancer, especially Cancer feminines. So it's like a new priestess being born, right? Something like that, or this deep intuition of something that has a lot of potential, and this deep knowing that it could be anything. And that's the beauty, I think, of the seed. It's like it could be anything. It's pure potential. So interesting energy to start your reading. I'm just going to pause and drink some of my coffee, and then we'll start to pull cards for you. Okay, I'm inviting you into my moment. So I was kind of like holding my coffee with both hands, and I had my eyes closed, and I was just drinking my coffee really slowly and really enjoying it, like enjoying the moment. And I could hear the little birds tweeting outside. It's kind of like little bird season around here. So it had this feeling of like, there's a thought process. There's like, it's something I got from YouTube, and the idea of like living your life like it's a movie, living your life as though you're the main character in a beautiful romance novel, or you know, a telenovela that kind of has been coming up as well. So it's like almost like seeing yourself in third person while you're enjoying a moment, as though, you know, you're filming a movie of your own life. And kind of like, again, the poetry of doing that, the poetry of being like, you know, what could this moment be? How would I direct this scene in my life? So maybe you are, maybe you're doing like an autobiography, or, you know, some kind of video biography or something like that. Okay, that's dark, but someone, if anyone's, okay, yeah, it's dark. I did see the Hades card. If anyone's, feeling like they're not going to be around forever, right? Maybe you've had some kind of diagnosis. This is quite dark, this is heavy, and I'm not predicting this for anyone. And again, this could be somebody external to you that you're dealing with, or it could just be a message from one person. It has that message for one person feeling. If anyone feels a bit worried about not being around for a long time, and obviously you need to take care of yourself and not kind of press the self-destruct button, but and you've got children especially, you may want to make a record of your life, you know, make a record of just beautiful moments, for those people who you leave behind to kind of remember you by, whether that's just crafting, and again, it might not even be anything serious. It might just be an idea that's floating through your head. Maybe you've been affected by death recently, you know, maybe you've had a significant death, or maybe you just even watched a film and it's made you think, right? It's like, what would happen if I wasn't here energy. So it could be that you know, whether you're just making a beautiful Instagram page and, like, you know, people can look at that and remember you and see the world through your eyes, or you know, maybe you are doing like a video diary, like a daily video diary, and it doesn't have to be like you're publishing it on YouTube. You can keep it on your phone, you know, but it's like, you know, people can hear your innermost thoughts if you do something like that. So and it's cathartic as well, you know, doing the YouTube videos and talking about my own life and my own situation is cathartic for me. So it's like the beauty in the art, in however you choose to do that. But yeah, I'm not giving you, you've definitely had a big warning sign. So if you are on a bit of a downward spiral, if you are not looking after yourself, I think maybe you're going to get some wake-up calls, which is not a bad thing. That's just the universe saying, hey, can we get your attention please here? This is a problem and we need you to fix it, because if you don't fix it, this is the warning sign of what is going to come in your way. And, you know, again, that's something that we've kind of been experiencing in my family. And sometimes you need it. Sometimes you need the wake-up call to take things seriously. But yeah, I'm not predicting anything awful happening in May. Just, you know, again, it's kind of, you're feeling a bit existential. You're feeling a bit heavy metal. What can I say? Heavy metal music. It's like the topics of that. Oh, okay. But again, this acceptance with the priestess energy, it's like this acceptance. It's like, this is nature. This is what's meant to happen. You know, we're dying from the moment we're born. So, but that doesn't mean that you have to, just give up and hand your life over to the universe. You know, you do have agency. You can make decisions for yourself. You can look after yourself. You know, and if not for your own good, for the good of the people that you love, the people around you. This is a heavy reading. It's really, I'm really in my head as well. I feel like I've got clouds in my head, like grey clouds. Okay, what do we have for Cancer, please? What's going on for Cancer in May? Oh yeah, very, very feminine energy. So getting in touch with your own feminine energy. So it doesn't matter how you present to the world, right? What your gender is. This is talking about your own inner feminine, your own, it's funny, I was picking up on that, kind of like going with the flow, not trying to control things. Being very kind of like priestess energy. So yeah, you feel very, it feels like acceptance and flow. Yeah, not trying to control the situation. And then no place like home. Maybe you're at home. Maybe you're spending a lot of time at home. Again, maybe somebody's moving home. This has that feeling of like home is where the heart is. So, you know, your literal home may not feel like home to you. Maybe your workplace feels like home. Maybe your friendship group feels like home. It's like, where is your heart? Where does your heart tell you is home? But yeah, very, this is it's kind of coming like, is there something like Susie Housemaker, Susie Cake Baker? Is that like a thing? It's kind of popping into my head. Um, maybe playing homemaker. Maybe you are pregnant, right? You're getting the house ready. You're feeling very nurturing. Message in a bottle. Okay, what energy is Cancer in? Thank you. Dragonfly. Yeah, you are getting out of a bad situation. You may have come from bad situations. You may have had a lot of bad situations in your life so far. And you're rising. The dragonfly is actually really, really, really good symbolism for what I'm picking up on. The dragonfly is getting out of the bad situations, rising above it, becoming really powerful. Dragon energy is always powerful, even though it's a dragonfly. It's majestic, right? It's beautiful. You see them and you're like, wow, like how is something that beautiful even real? You know, they're magnificent. You know, iridescent, gorgeous. So it really is, it's a watery energy as well. Dragonflies are often born in like from eggs in like really swampy water, I believe. So it has this like a lotus flower energy. It's this beautiful thing that came from a stagnant, unpleasant place. And understanding that that can happen, beautiful things can come out of bad situations. So there's a lesson in there as well, a lesson that you seem to be embodying. Like Marilyn Monroe, again, look at Marilyn Monroe's life. She did not have a good early life, you know. She had a really traumatic childhood, and yet she became this beautiful, inspiring icon, right, of the silver screen. So it's like, and even her story, even though her story had a tragic ending, there's still beauty and poetry in the story of her life and how she lived. So again, not necessarily something you want to intentionally embody and intentionally follow, but to see that, who had Beauty in the Breakdown? Somebody's reading was Beauty in the Breakdown. Let me just flip back in my notes. Gemini. So especially, so if you're Gemini, Cancer cusp, or dealing with a Gemini, you've got a lot of Gemini in your chart. Gemini's reading was called Beauty in the Breakdown, like seeing the beauty in the breakdown. Perhaps seeing the hardships as lessons that you survive. You know, Marilyn Monroe is a survivor. Britney Spears is a survivor. They have so much strength, these beautiful women, because they've endured so much, you know, and for them to still be swimming, to still keep going, they're icons for that. I'm getting very emotional now. It's a hard lesson to learn. It's not a lesson that a lot of people can learn. The embracing the bad, right? The idea that we, you know, a lot of people have this idea that we should aim for happy all the time, that we should always be happy. And if we're not happy, then we're broken and we need fixing. We're human beings with a range of emotions and a range of feelings. And we have so many experiences in our life. And some of those experiences suck and are hard. And yet, that's what we write about, right? That's what we sing about. That's what we make movies about. And so because it's relatable, because we all go through these things, and so rather than seeing the sadness as something bad, you know, finding the yeah, that's a good example. I'm trying to think of how to explain it. And the Show Me, so there's a movie called Inside Out. If you haven't seen it, it's a really good movie. It's kind of a kids movie, but grown-ups will love it too. So Inside Out, it's and it has these characters, and they all live in this person's head, and one of them represents Joy, and she's yellow, and she's always trying to make everybody happy. She's kind of toxic positivity, and there's another character called Sadness, who has this kind of Eeyore quality to them. They're always sad. They see, you know, the glass is always half empty for them, and throughout and like Joy is always trying to fix Sadness, right? She's always trying to, when Sadness makes the girl that the kind of representing the emotions of sad, you know, Joy's always like, I've got to make her happy again. How do I make her happy again? And it's like, you're not supposed to disable happiness, right? You're not supposed to see happiness as something that needs switching off and and avoiding. It's like there's purpose to the sadness. It's like when people grieve, you know, you have to feel that sadness. You have to, you know, otherwise it just bottles up in there. It's not healthy. So by the end of the movie, so spoilers, it has been out for a while, but by the end of the movie, Joy really sees the value in sadness, and she recognizes that sadness is needed as an emotion. And so what happens is they create this new, more mature um, emotion. It's a mix of both of their energies. It's like gold and blue, and it's this kind of melancholy or nostalgic kind of emotion. That's a complex emotion, right? But it's still beautiful. It's still needed, and there's purpose to it. And this seems to be something that is really key to your reading at the moment. Sea serpent as well. Okay. Kind of taking my time with your reading today. I'm also noticing the colours here. Can you see this? This is very, very pink, but there's touches of purple in it. And this is very kind of purple around the edges, but there's all this pink to it. So it's like, who feels like home for you? Like, do you feel like home to people? Kind of has like soulmate energy. You know, some people you just kind of click with. Tower, solid foundation, success with effort. So this is different to, this is a tea leaf deck. It's not a tarot deck, so it's not the tower like, oh my god, doom, impending doom. It's not that. Solid foundation, success with effort. So again, if you're moving home, if you're relocating, maybe this has been something that is involuntary for you. Maybe you didn't want to move home. It's funny, I'm watching Erin Brockovich at the moment. I'm kind of like halfway through the movie, and you know, like how that deals with the theme of people who need to move because the land is kind of toxic, and you know, that kind of thing. So maybe there's something like that going on for you. You know, maybe you know, you live with your family, but you know, you're just not getting along. That environment's become toxic, and you know, you need to get out of it and go, maybe, I don't know, rent a flat with your friends who you have a really good time with, but just obviously watch out for overdoing it. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you renting with friends, they're going out partying every night, you just can feel it wearing you down. You can feel yourself losing control of yourself, and you're like, I need to be nurtured. I need to go back home to my parents. I need to, you know, spend the day you know, spend a week in my own bed, letting my mum make me beans on toast, you know. It's like, maybe you need that. Maybe you need a change in place, because maybe an environment is becoming toxic by the it feels like a time thing to it. It's like the more time you spend there, the more toxic it becomes. So it could be good for a couple of days, but like after a while, it kind of, you know, becomes unbearable. There could be something like that for you. But yeah, whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to build here, and I want to say that you are trying to build something that feels like home to you, right? It's like you want that safe place. You want that sanctuary. And so it's like building that up, right, and reinforcing it and protecting it. So I feel like there is effort going into that. What else do we have for Cancer, please, this month? So what else do we have for Cancer in May? Could be going up a tower as well. So they're showing me like, you know, when you're high up and you've got like binoculars, so tall buildings, so like Eiffel Tower, Empire State Building, you could be going to something that is a tower. Maybe you're renting somewhere and it's like a loft apartment, I'm hearing. But yeah, I'm getting this feeling of like height, like literal physical height. So maybe you're going on vacation, you're going to go sightseeing, you're going to go up a tower. I'm getting helter-skelters as well. Maybe your life is feeling like a helter-skelter. Indecisiveness, allowing yourself, exactly. Unbelievable. You may have Sagittarius. If you've got Sagittarius placements, this may be fine for you, because Sagittarius they carry this kind of, they're ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is good luck and good fortune. So Sagittarians sometimes feel like they're born under a lucky star. My eldest says this as well. They're like, I just feel like things are going to work out, and they work out. And I'm like, that's great if you've Sagittarius. That's great if you've got strong Jupiter in your chart, you know. But yeah, that's a key trait of Sagittarius, that they can ramble aimlessly and things will just come up roses for them. So if you've got Sagittarius in your chart and it's a strong placement, just consider, you know, what that placement is, what area of your life that rules. You could have a lot of luck there. But indecisiveness, allowing yourself, your life to ramble aimlessly. It's funny because I've had driving lessons this morning, and I was feeling like, I almost feel like it's like the flip side of Cancerian energy. I was thinking to myself, because obviously you're literally, the reason why I'm thinking this is your card in the tarot is the Chariot card, and the Chariot can represent cars and feeling in control. And that's the thing about, like, when you're having driving lessons, you're in control of that car, right? Like, and it comes with this kind of Capricorn energy as well, of like being very independent, and being very yeah, being in control, being very independent, which is funny because Cancer is almost the opposite. Cancer has this energy of like going with the flow, and um yeah, a little bit. I'm saying this because I've got Capricorn South Node and Cancer North Node, and Capricorn is your South Node is your comfort zone. So this idea of like controlling the car, being independent, it should feel comfortable to me. And then the Cancerian energy of like, whoa, you know, when you go a little bit out of control, you're like, whoa. I don't know. It was kind of playing on my mind. Indecisiveness and allowing yourself to ramble aimlessly. This feels like a choice for you. You feel like you've got a choice point coming up in May. It's like, do you commit to something, and do you persevere with something and put a lot of time and effort into it in order to have that long-term success when, you know, unexpected things can happen. You could spend 20 years, you know, building your house and making it perfect and building up your finances, and there could be a housing crash or a stock market crash, and you know, you could go into debt and have that, you know, go bankrupt and have all that hard work, a lifetime of work taken away from you. I've had this happen kind of myself in my personal life, of where, you know, circumstances change and everything's gone. So um then in that case, do you then go, right, do you know what, universe, take the wheel? um my life is in your hands. What's the point in working hard and building something up if it can just be taken away from me in a second? You know, one mistake, one error, and it's gone. So you feel almost like giving up on this in order to do this. But I want to say, you do need to have some sort of balance, because it's like, you know, so say something bad happens and you think, oh my God, my life, everything can go in a second. I'm just going to enjoy life as it comes. I'm just going to go out and kind of like drink and party and spend time with my friends and just really enjoy every single moment. And then if I die tomorrow, at least I enjoyed myself today. But if you have dependents, so if you have children, you have to think about what happens when you leave, yeah, when you're not there. um what is their life going to be like, and do you need to plan for their future, and do you need to, you know, feather their nests? So God, your reading's a lot, Cancer. Your reading's a lot. Okay, I'm going to pull all your cards. Let me just get these cards off the table. We're not actually using these today for this reading. So far I've been using, what's this one? Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. I've been using the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit by Kim Kranz. I've been using the Tea Leaf Tarot. It says Hepburn on it. I don't know if that's the creator or the publisher. And I'm also using 2 decks by Chris Ann, the Light Seas Tarot and the Muse Tarot. So who's Cancer? Who is Cancer today, please? You are feeling very trapped. You're taking things slowly, which I want to say is quite good. But are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling frustrated, at least in May, because things are moving so slowly? It's making you feel all tied up. It's making you feel trapped. So it could be some sort of situation where there's red tape. You know, you've got to deal with, you know, the situation's not in your hands. You know, this thing's going to happen when it happens, but you just feel like you can't move on. This is kind of something that I felt. My dad passed away recently, and kind of like waiting for everything to be processed so that we could get on with the funeral and spread his ashes was difficult, because I wanted to close things off. I wanted to you know, do right by my dad, like carry out his wishes, and then kind of like move on with my life. And I felt like I couldn't, because things were kind of like, you know, completely out of my hands. Things were kind of like trailing. It was taking time. So it made me feel very trapped, and that was really detrimental to my mental health as well. I was really suffering with it. Yeah, there could definitely be something like that for you. I always feel like, again, with this wheel analogy and like driving a car, it feels like a metaphor for what's going on for you. It's like maybe you feel like you want to take the wheel, maybe to speed things up, but maybe also you feel like, you know, it's better. It's almost like it's in safer hands if it's with this other person. I do wonder if you've got Sagittarius placements. It's in safer hands if the other person's taking care of this, because they're going to do it properly. They're going to pay attention to the details. And it could be you as well, like paying attention to the details is, you recognize the importance of this, but it's making you feel very trapped. It's like things are happening really slowly. And you're getting in your head about it. Okay, so anything that comes out of the Light Seers Tarot is going to be your energy. Anything that comes out of the Muse Tarot is going to be another energy affecting you. So let me just move these over. I'm going to pull all your cards and then we'll talk about them kind of once the cards are on the table. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe you need somebody to show you their cards, right? You need to have a discussion. You need to have a sit down and be like, okay, where do you stand? Because I'm getting in my own head trying to guess your position, like something like that. Oh, okay, that looked like it was the Nine of Cups. Let's just have yeah, look at that as well. It's like, is this guessing game? Is this what's behind door number 3? Is this, I can't make a decision if I don't know what's behind the door. And then you've got a Page of Swords. And you need more information. Okay. So we're going sort of early May to later May. It's going to be a bit of a timeline. And we're going to go emotions, thoughts, action space. So can you tell me Cancerian, please? Cancerian energy. So there's that Capricorn energy, 9 of Pentacles. That's your counterpart. It's your, well, not your counterpart, it's your opposite sign. So it could be a challenge energy for you if you've got a lot of Cancer in your chart to kind of have that independence. But you're wanting it. You're wanting to be more independent. You've got a lot of nostalgia. Somebody's nostalgic about you. Or there's somebody around you that you've got a lot of nostalgia about. Very Cancerian as well. Probably the most nostalgic sign, I would say, Cancer. No, this is your energy. Yeah, you're feeling very emotionally balanced by the end of the month. That's really good. Like deep feelings, but being good with everything that you feel. Thoughts. Yeah, I feel like the Swords energy. It's like, oh, look, very, very nostalgic. 6 of Cups. I don't know whether to take the Lovers or not. It feels like a leap of faith. Well, acknowledge it. It feels like somebody taking a leap of faith. Or somebody thinking about taking a leap of faith towards you because the heart is telling them to. Or maybe they do want the Fool there. Okay, we'll leave the Fool there. It's almost like it was snatched out of my hands. So you're thinking about somebody taking a leap of faith. It's not you taking the leap of faith, right? It's from the other deck. And this is somebody from your past. This is the bailout energy, right? The leap of faith, like, it feels very spontaneous. Oh, what card do you want? I don't know what to take. I'm going to put them back. We've got the Page of Voices and the Emperor. So there's somebody who's watching you. They've got their eye on you. Could be a father figure. It could be your literal father. Again, I was picking up the father of a Cancerian child. Somebody's watching you. Somebody wants more information from you, and it's somebody who has Emperor energy. It could be a boss, some kind of business person, somebody in charge of something. Like I say, it could be father figure though for you. 7 of Materials, that's this taking it slow energy. It's like slow on their side as well. There's the King of Cups on their side and the 4 of Emotions. There's this feeling of definitely you and this other person matching energies. You've both got this kind of, well, you've got the Knight of Pentacles, they've got the 7 of Pentacles. So you're taking action, but it's really slow. And this talks about things taking time, right? But the seeds need time to blossom. You both have the King of Cups, right? Your King of Cups, their King of Cups. Deep emotions, deep intuitive, like no wonder you've got the Priestess, right? A deep intuitive emotional connection. It's like you and this person are in tune emotionally. You both have a lot of emotions, emotional depth. You're very good with everything you feel. You're very mature about everything that you feel. You don't push anything away. You don't bustle things up. You don't necessarily express it or let everybody else know your feelings, but you're comfortable with them, and so are they. but there's this feeling of them not taking an offer. I think you want somebody to take a leap of faith towards you, but they don't seem to be, for whatever reason, they don't seem to be doing it. Maybe you both want to take time. Maybe you both want to take it slowly. Maybe this other person wants to take it slowly. Maybe it's on their end. Maybe you're taking it slowly because they want to take it slowly. They need time to adjust. They need time to come towards you, and you're giving them the space that they need, and you're willing to take it slowly, but you want to go faster. You want to take the wheel, right? You want to take control, but you're letting them take control. You want them to make the first leap of faith because that's what you're thinking about. Action space for Cancer, please. What's going on in May in terms of the action space? Well, you're bailing out, literally. This is bailing out of a bad situation. It's the literal meaning of Six of Swords. Normally the universe is kind of dragging you out of there. You're moving towards happiness. Yeah, leaving a bad situation behind, going towards something as someone that feels like home to you. Again, this could be a father figure for you. It doesn't have to be, it can be a love interest. It could be a sibling. They're matching you. You're on the same level. It's two kings, right? Don't worry about gender, but you know, a king matches a king. It's showing as equivalent energy to you. You've got the same emotional maturity. So again, could be sibling, father figure, somebody you knew from your past. You've got Six of Cups on both sides here. Very nostalgic mid-month. Very, very nostalgic mid-month. You could also have children. What's going on for Cancer, please? Interaction space at the end of the month. This is actually really quite a positive reading. I think you're taking a bit of a leap of faith here. I mean, that's a bit of a... There's quite a few cards there. That's the one that came out on its own. Yeah. You are taking action. I don't know if you're taking action intentionally or if kind of spirit has the wheel for you. Yeah, definitely you need more information as well. Yeah, I feel like you need to have a sit down and a discussion with somebody because you've both had the Page of Swords on both sides. It's like you're watching each other. That FK Twig song came back up again. I'm watching. So... let me just have a second. So you definitely have this feeling of, I've got to get out of this situation. Whatever that was, it's probably something that occurred in April because by May you're already leaving it, right? And again, you could be moving house, maybe it's even moving workplace, right? It's moving from a place that felt like it wasn't in alignment with you towards something that feels like home to you. And it could be a physical move, or it could even be like a mental or emotional movement forward from one emotional space into another emotional space. You are at the beginning of the month, you're definitely on the move. You could actually be traveling. Sometimes this indicates travel across water, for example, a boat ride or a short plane ride or something like that. It's travel across water, so it's normally a significant distance, but not like global travel. The crows do indicate spirit for me. So you know, nobody's steering that boat. She is letting her life ramble aimlessly in the depiction on this card. You know, she is in yin mode. She's receptive. She's not controlling the situation. She's allowing spirit to move her, allowing and trusting with that priestess energy, spirit to kind of move her out of a bad situation into a better situation. You don't feel like you are taking control of that situation. I don't know if you feel like you're in a position to take control of that situation, even though emotionally what's happening, which is really curious, is emotionally you are actually feeling very secure and independent. So there could be something going on with your finances. Maybe you have a good job. Maybe you have some money saved up. You feel like finances aren't the problem for you. You are quite, you're quite satisfied in terms of comfort. So I'm not saying that you're like the Queen of Sheba or anything like that. I don't really know what I mean by that. It just popped into my head, so maybe it's significant. Maybe you've got like a cat or a dog called Sheba. You don't feel like you're kind of like a billionaire or anything like that, but you have enough to be able to survive quite comfortably on your own. You're in a very strategic place. So again, I feel like there's quite a lot happening for you emotionally where you feel secure. And mentally, you're being quite analytical. The King of Swords has really figured things out. You know, they've thought long and hard about something, they're quite sure about it. When the King of Swords takes action, they take quite swift action. It can surprise people, but they're quite sure about their actions. You know, they can be quite cut and dry. But this is coming through as your energy, and it's coming through in your thoughts, which is where I would expect to see the King of Swords, because it's thoughts energy. So yeah, really, you've thought long and hard about something. You feel secure, and spirit, I want to say, or you are moving out of a bad situation and into a better situation. And this is actually in your environment. So there is some kind of movement here. You're not just thinking about it, you're doing it. You really curiously have the Six of Emotions, Six of Cups here, which is the same card. It's just called Emotions in this deck, both the Six of Cups. So in your emotions and in your thoughts, you're doing a lot of thinking about the past, a lot of remembering, very, very, very nostalgic. You know, I was talking about joy and sadness coming together to create that beautiful new emotion, that nostalgic emotion, which is it's like memories can be happy and sad at the same time, right? Especially if you've lost somebody. You know, you're sad that you've lost them, but you're happy you had that time together. So there's this mixed, very, very complex, mixed, mature emotion. And you've absolutely got that nostalgia, looking back at the past, remembering things, energy here. Maybe you do have a dog. Maybe you had a dog, a childhood pet. Maybe you're thinking about what it was like when you were younger. Maybe you're thinking about your own childhood. You could be thinking about your own children. Six of Cups carries children energy. It also carries soulmate energy. So, you know, those people who felt like home to you, those people who felt like companions, those people who felt like family, whether they're still with you or these are people from the past, you know, the happy, nostalgic memories attached to those better times. Those times might not be better. We do have rose tinted glasses a lot of the time when we look back at the past, but that doesn't mean you can't analyze your feelings about things, and you can't look back at things with a more mature perspective, is what I'm trying to say. You know, we can see, for example, when we become a parent, we can look back at our own childhood and see it in a different light, because we understand what it feels like to be a parent, right? We understand what it's like to have a child have a tantrum, you know, and like to lose your temper because you're just so stressed, you know, those kind of things. It's like you can forgive parents sometimes when you become a parent, all that kind of stuff. And then in your environment, you're really, really happy. This is kind of like, this can just be a really good day, you know, surrounded by people that you love, surrounded by people that make you feel happy. And even if you don't always get along with those people, this card can be like the perfect day where everybody just got along, everything worked out well, you know, people were smiling, people were joking. It just, again, you've got this feeling of like, I want to say that you're kind of nostalgic. Maybe you're at some kind of family reunion, so you're remembering things. Maybe it's bringing up a lot of memories for you. Maybe this is a new environment, new family, and you're thinking, what do I want to bring forward from my past? What good things do I want to apply to this situation? You know, what you know, remembering, I don't know, gathering around the dinner table at Christmas and being like, I want to do that for my own children, I want to do that in this situation. So bringing those good memories forward. Really, really nice energy, Cancer, especially since we started with a very dark energy, which again is probably because I'm reading this in April, so you're probably going through something. A lot of you are probably in that bad situation now, or again, maybe you know somebody, maybe your child's in a bad situation, and it's like you're in that now as I start the reading, because in May you're out of it, I want to say, or you're on your way out of it. But again, it's taking time, it's a slow process, and you have this feeling of like wanting to seize control, but trying to be in this yin energy that's more flowing, trying not to control the situation, even though you're tempted to control the situation. And then we end up with this kind of like this leap of faith energy, this kind of like, because it's like almost like, you know, sometimes when you're in a bad situation, you can't see it for what it is. It's like you're so, almost like Stockholm syndrome. It's like you're so kind of used to that situation that you need the distance from it to gain the perspective. It's like you need the foil. You know, if you're talking about kind of like storytelling, you need the counter situation to show you, to compare and contrast, right? So it's like almost like maybe you have really good friends around you now. Maybe you've built yourself with that tower. Maybe you've built yourself a really happy home, a happy family, a happy situation. And then when you look back at your own perhaps childhood, which perhaps wasn't so happy for some of you, um, you know, you can really compare and contrast and think, wow, thank God I got out of that. I'm so happy where I am now, and I can really appreciate it because I remember what it was like to not have this. So this feels like very much like when you feel this and you realize that you're out of that, and this is what you can have. It's like the excitement and the passion and the enthusiasm and the drive. So it's like all of a sudden, I want to say rebuilding, right? You've got this rebuilding energy, but rebuilding with a solid foundation that's built on this, right? This is the important thing. This is what you're trying to create more of. I'm very inspired and very excited and very enthusiastic to kind of like learn more about this, to engage more about this, to experience more of this, to feel more of this. And you really want this full energy around you. So it's actually, you've only got this and this here. So there's another person, because this is in your emotions, but it's not your energy. It's here in your thoughts and it's here in your emotions. So this here is definitely a connection with somebody else because it's from the other deck. I want to say it's somebody who matches that King of Cups energy. It's like deep nostalgia, deep feelings, memories from the past, memories from childhood, really very mature about it all. You've really kind of felt everything that he's feeling about that situation, and so have they. Again, it could be sibling, it could be childhood friend, something like that. So I feel like you've got somebody who's got a past with you. And you've got the things in the right places. You've got the King of Swords in your thoughts and the King of Cups in your emotions. And that's where they should be, right? That's feeling your feelings, thinking your thoughts. So you're actually very balanced and doing really well, I want to say, Cancer. I don't know what you've come out of, but this is a very, very positive reading. But yeah, this Fool in your future thoughts, it's like you want them to take a leap of faith, probably towards you or towards their own future. It's like this person's in your thoughts, right? You're thinking about this person, and this person's the Fool energy. So it's not that you want to take a leap of faith to them. You seem to be taking leaps and bounds, right? You seem to be very much living in the moment and doing what feels right. I think this kind of slower energy is on their part. Okay, I haven't got any more to say about that. So let's go to your advice cards. So these are the Angels Among Us and Goddesses Among Us decks. And I'm thinking about that game Among Us. Maybe somebody plays that. Maybe you got kicked out of a situation, right? It's like, like if you know the Among Us game, it's like you're the imposter, right? It's like everybody has to guess who the imposter is and kick them out. Maybe you got kicked out of a situation even though you hadn't really done anything wrong. It's like, I'm not the imposter. But it's almost like the universe wanted you out of there anyway because it wasn't a good place for you to be in. Maybe people were gossiping. Maybe people were not trusting each other. I'm just thinking about the game itself and why that's coming through. Yeah, so it's almost like you're actually better off not being in that situation anymore because you're going towards something better. So again, it could be like a friendship group, maybe an online group that you've joined. Okay. So this energy, it can represent, if you've got any particular deities and they come out, take that for what it is, what that means to you. If you're not particularly religious, this can indicate, take it however you want to take it. It can indicate deities, it can indicate angels in your life, spirit guides, it can indicate ancestors who've passed over who are kind of like working on your behalf in spirit. It can indicate you and your own spirit self, right, your higher self, and the energy that you might want to consider embodying in May. It can also represent people in your life who are embodying this energy, like almost like angels on earth for us, right? So take it as it resonates, and just maybe think about what that card represents, right, rather than the deity on the card if that doesn't speak to you. Advice please for Cancer. Advice please for Cancer. Who is supporting Cancer? There we go. We've got a couple of cards. You've got Archangel Azrael, Death and Rebirth, Transitions, Life Changes. It's funny, Death and Rebirth, I was picking that up with the Seed, right? And the Priestess. This idea of like if you believe in reincarnation, you maybe a passed on loved one is about to be reborn. You could be sensing this. It's not for everybody. I don't want to kind of put thoughts in people's heads. I feel like you'll know with the priestess. It's like you'll know if that's for you. Archangel Sandalphon, music, Earth Star, and answered prayers. And Goddess Isis. Oh, I'm getting spirit bumps. Resurrection. You've got 2 cards about death and rebirth and resurrection. Magic and fertility. That is very cool. It could be talking about a life resurrection, you know, a phase of your life being over, and it's like you feel revived. You're feeling joy again after a sad period, perhaps after a challenging period. Okay, I think all of these are from the Angels deck as well. I don't think you have any goddesses. Yeah, I mean, it's the Goddess Isis, but just interesting that all from the Angels deck. Okay, Archangel Azrael. I love the artwork as well. I just really have to shout out, like, illustrated by Ellie Grant. Really beautiful character design. I think, you know, absolutely such a fabulous artist. I love the representation of these cards. I love the diversity. They all look so cool. You know, you've got a lot of different body shapes as well if you look through the whole decks. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. Really, really like the art style. Yeah, so I really hope that they do a Gods Among Us deck, because the Angels Among Us came first, and it's quite there's a nice balance of masculine and feminine in there. But with the Goddesses deck, obviously it's kind of much more like Aphrodite, one of my favorites. You know, it's made my mixed deck lean a bit more to the feminine, so I really hope they do a Gods deck as well, because again, like, I feel like there's not many people who can draw like guys so well. Like, they're all daddies, like, they're all gorgeous. Okay, so 14, like, really beautiful. Like, it's so diverse and so beautiful, like, all the characters. Archangel Azrael's name means angel of death. While he is a powerful guide and comforter in times of grief and loss, he turns up during a physical death and also supports you during times of change, life transitions, right? I told you, moving home perhaps for some of you, and during that difficult period between one thing ending and the next not yet beginning. Archangel Azrael can offer you comfort and strength at the completion of a cycle during big shifts and transformations. He's also a powerful ally when working with mediumship and calling out your loved ones in spirit. On your loved ones, don't call them out. You were a dick. Let bygones be bygones, right? Let the dead rest. I feel like you learn a lot of lessons. Like, this is my what I feel, right, after doing this kind of spiritual work for a while. I feel like at the point of death, even like just before, you understand things that you don't understand when you're so, as you transition to spirit. I think you understand things on a much more metaphysical level than you do when you stuck in the mundane, in the 3D. You know, I feel like we're so blinkered in our human bodies and in our human experience that often we don't see people in our lives for who they truly are, because we've got so much conditioning and things like this through our lived experience. And I think the second we transition into spirit and all that releases, right, all that, it's like you just get this higher perspective where you just understand things on a much more encompassing level. I don't know. You can disagree with me, right? We're entitled to believe what we want to believe. You are journeying from one chapter into another. Let go of the old and prepare to step into the new. One door is closing, another is opening. Step through. Call on Archangel Azrael for assistance with losing loved ones, grief, moving through life transitions, moving house, changing jobs, relationship breakups, relationship changes, new partners, family members, births, etc. Any kind of endings, completion of karmic cycles, so that's a big one for a lot of you, getting out of those toxic situations, right? Really understanding the lessons learned from them too, developing your mediumship skills. Embody the energy of Archangel Azrael by taking the time to grieve for what has been lost. I'm going to bring this up to you because this is like advice. Giving yourself time to heal and process, letting go with grace, and looking forward with hope. So I don't know if you just want to screenshot that and kind of like refer back to it throughout May and kind of keep trying to embody those values. You've also got, I'm going to go to Goddess Isis next because she has that similar rebirth energy to her. Goddess Isis is considered to be one of the most powerful and important goddesses of ancient Egypt, a goddess of fertility. So for those of you who are trying to get pregnant, who are excited to welcome a new baby into your lives, maybe you're a new aunt or something, a goddess of fertility and feminine power. Goddess Isis is also known as the goddess of the moon, life, magic, and power. Like, this is very much this energy, right? This is gorgeous. This is so Cancerian as well, like so understanding of life cycles. She's also known as a healing goddess who can heal the sick and as a protector of women and children. According to the Osiris myth, Goddess Isis was so powerful that she was able to resurrect her husband Osiris after he was killed. Goddess Isis is known as the goddess of queenship and is often seen with a symbol of a throne above her head. For a lot of you, I'm getting it really strongly that you feel like somebody's being reborn into your life, that a soulmate is coming back into your soul tribe as a child. Stand in your power, go for what you want and make it happen. Sit on the throne of your life. Call on Goddess Isis for assistance with feeling more powerful, confident and secure in who you are. It's like taking the wheel back, right? Magical practices and spell work. Just be careful with that. Don't try and mess with anyone else's autonomy. Put out good into the world, because you don't want to mess with anything that's going to backfire on you. Resurrecting things that are lying dormant within you and in your life. Fertility, mother healing and protection. Step into the energy. Hello, can we see this please? There you go. Step into the energy of Goddess Isis by stepping into and owning your power, becoming the queen of your own life. Love that for you, Cancer. Setting healthy and loving boundaries. I'm just going to zoom in on that one, guys. Setting healthy and loving boundaries, Cancers. Taking action to make your dreams come true, doing what it takes to get you where you want to go. So healthy and loving boundaries, right? Boundaries, it's not healthy to be a pushover. It's not healthy to let people do whatever they want to do because you love them. And we had this discussion earlier, if you remember in the reading. Healthy and loving boundaries. Sometimes we can love people by putting those boundaries up, by putting those rules in place. This is something your opposite sign Capricorn understands really well. It's like the security of knowing where the boundaries are, the security of knowing if you're on the right side or the wrong side of the rules. It's like, yes, people can still break the rules, especially if you're a parent, right? It's like the kids are still going to test those boundaries, they're still going to break the rules, but they're going to feel confident because they know where those boundaries are. I think a lot of the time children can feel very, very confused and insecure because parents are constantly shifting the goalposts. It's like if they're allowed to do something one day and then the next they're not allowed to do it and they get shouted at for it, it's really confusing to them. They're like, well, I don't know what is and isn't allowed here, and it doesn't let them rest. They have this really unsettled feeling. So healthy and loving boundaries is something you can really learn from your opposing sign of Capricorn. Especially if it's for the good of the child, right? Archangel Sandalphon 13. Archangel Sandalphon is the angel who can deliver your prayers to the divine on your behalf. He is the angel of music and the bridge between heaven and earth. Working with the Earth Star Chakra, Archangel Sandalphon can help you activate and ground your energy into the earth in a deeper and more conscious and connected way. This can help you stay grounded in the truth of who you are and in your own soul purpose and path. Archangel Sandalphon is a powerful angel to call upon whenever you feel your prayers are not being heard. You are a bridge between heaven and earth. I mean, you're the priestess energy. You are here to seed and anchor the light on this earth and make a positive difference to the world. What do you do? What do you do for your job? This has been coming up this week. And is that impacting the consumer of a product, for example, in unexpected ways? You can just be doing your job and not realizing how much good that job's doing. It could just be the product you make. Maybe you make Ben and Jerry's, right? And you're like, I just make ice cream, I just make stuff that tastes good. But to a person who's having an awful day, that might just be it just might be something good in a really awful day, and maybe you underestimate the impact that you have on the world. Call on Archangel Sandalphon for assistance with grounding your energy, becoming a pillar of light, the bridge between heaven and earth, activating your Earth Star Chakra, Prayer and praying in a way that works for you, hearing divine guidance through music, navigating this world as an earth angel. Gorgeous. Embody the energy of Sandalphon by staying grounded, moving through the world knowing that you are a powerful bridge between heaven and earth, talking to the divine daily, making your life a living prayer, playing or listening to music as a form of divine communication. Absolutely gorgeous. So on that note, puns intended, let's get you a new song. A new song for Cancerian's new life. What have we got, please? Criminal. Criminal by Fiona Apple. An advert played, but it flashed up. Let me just close it and open it again. There you go. Criminal by Fiona Apple. Don't be a criminal. I've been a bad, bad girl. I've been careless with a delicate man. Wasn't I picking up on that? Like I was saying with the girl who does parodies of like the sugar baby energy, the sugar daddy, and she's kind of like just really just using him basically. She's like, he's a big pushover and she's using him kind of thing. I've been a bad, bad girl. I've been careless with a delicate man. And it's a sad, sad world when a girl will break a boy just because she can. Don't you tell me to deny it. I've done wrong and I want to suffer for my sins. I've come to you because I need guidance to be true. And I just don't know where I can begin. I mean, if you've treated somebody badly, if you've used somebody, if you've hurt someone on purpose just because you can, you know, being honest with yourself about that. And I'm not accusing anyone here. You'll know if this is resident to you or not. You taking ownership of that and admitting it and admitting the parts that you played that where you weren't the good person is a huge step in clearing that karma and living your life in a more with more of this energy, right, where everybody's happy. I've done wrong and I want to suffer for my sins. I've come to you because I need guidance to be true and I just don't know where I can begin. What I need is a good defense because I'm feeling like a criminal and I need to be redeemed to the one I've sinned against because he's all I ever knew of love. Heaven help me for the way I am. Save me from these evil deeds before I get them done. I know tomorrow brings the consequence at hand, but I keep living this day like the next day will never come. Yeah, that's what I was picking up on at the beginning, right? Like, I keep living this day like the next day will never come. Let me know the way before there's hell to pay. Give me the room to lay the law and let me go. I've got to make a play. I've to make my lover stay. So what would an angel say? The devil wants to know. Okay, cool song. Love a bit of Fiona Apple. Need to listen to more of her songs. Okay, Cancer. You know your situation best. Take what resonates, leave anything that doesn't. Try and embody those positive energies no matter what, because they're it's good advice, right? It's good advice either way. And I hope this reading's helpful to you. Trust your own instincts because you've got strong instincts with that priestess. You've got this. You've got this. Do take care. I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.